We move to item 11, references from Cabinet and committees, referral from Cabinet on the performance, finance and risk from August on pages 33 to 59 of your report. Councillor Swords.
I formally propose that, Chair.
And do I see a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Leppard. Councillor Swords, do you want to introduce the item?
Thank you, Chair. Again, the reference has been made from Cabinet. I'm sure all councillors have had a great deal of time to understand it, the implications of it. They'll know to the penny what projects we're asking your approval for the budget to meet. Indeed, they've had the papers for so many weeks that they would have had the chance to do so. What the report sets out and what was reported to Cabinet, whether they agree with the notion or not, is that performance is improving across the board. That's a fact. That's what the data tells us. It's that we have extremely healthy reserve positions. It's that the council is projecting a surplus in both its general fund and housing revenue account. As I said at Cabinet, I'm not sure you would find another council in the country that's in such a position, another district council in the country that's in such a position. Indeed, often members opposite do lobby me about the need for investment in such a thing, yet most of them have just voted against that investment. So I do hope that the recommendations that have been referred to Council will be agreed. Indeed, I'm sure councillors will understand exactly what they're being asked to vote on, the increased expenditure they're being asked to vote on. Indeed, it's more than you've just voted against. So I'm very pleased to propose this to the Council, and again, I am sure that there will be cross-party support for such investment.
Thank you, Councillor Swords. Councillor Leppard, do you wish to speak at this stage? You reserve your right. I throw it open to debate. There being no one, do you want to... Oh, Councillor Ellis.
Thanks, Chair. I presented this report to Cabinet a couple of weeks ago, and I'm pleased it's come before Council again today. We publish this data every month, and we're continuing to make improvements in the services we provide for residents. As I said at Cabinet, particular highlights from this report include lower numbers of empty council homes, fewer people in temporary accommodation, a high-performing call centre with short waiting times and consistently quick processing of benefit claims. And we've also seen a significant reduction in missed bin collections, which I was pleased to see thanks to improvements made working with Veolia, our contractor. We're not complacent and we continue to look for ways we can make further improvements, and I'm always open to hearing those. Publishing this data allows us to do just that, and we will keep working hard to build a better future for our town.
Thank you, Councillor Ellis. There being no other people indicating, I'll go to Councillor Leppard for his second speech. Oh, sorry, Councillor Edwards. No, he's reserved his right towards the end of the debate, so I will take you.
Sometimes with these reports is over the what time scale. So, for example, as far as housing is concerned, Councillor Carter recently talked about the reduction that's been achieved in the turnaround time. They've now got it down, if I remember rightly, to 21 days or thereabouts. And he said it's been like I forget the percentage now, but it was something like a 40 or 50%, 66%. The only problem with that is if you looked at his report, I was looking at your Harlow, there was a similar article a year ago. Exactly the same thing was being sent. On that occasion, they said they got it down to 26 days, but they also said that there'd also been a substantial reduction in the time. So it gone down to 26 days in October 2023. It's obviously then gone back up again to 55 days or whatever it may happen to be, in order that they can then bring it down again and then pretend to us all that somehow or other they're doing marvellously well. Well, can I just remind them that they haven't got the housing turnaround times down to the 16 days that they were when we were in power. So, and I think the same goes as far as a number of other the reports. You present them over relatively brief timescales, so that then puts you in the best possible light. So all I would say is read most of this with a decidedly large pinch of salt. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Councillor Leppard.
Thank you, Chair. I always find it interesting when the opposition criticise us on financial performance. We have every month provided reports which show continued and sustained performance of the finances of the council. But I would like to go back to February of this year, when the budget was set. The then leader of the opposition, who was also the shadow of finance and is now our new honourable member of parliament, committed an unprecedented dereliction of duty in not submitting an alternative budget. That was unheard of. To the astonishment of this chamber, when challenged, he retorted that the council's finances were in a perilous state, with a black hole of 10.8 million, and that his action, when questioned as to what he wanted to do, would be to meet with the finance officers to address the matter with urgency. Afterwards, I offered him to arrange such a meeting with the officers for his education and erudition. Did he accept the invitation? Did he press me for an indispensable meeting? Of course he didn't. That was a rhetorical question. Instead, he and his party opted to compound their embarrassment publicly by basing their entire local election campaign on this fabrication, a myth, of the 10 million black hole. And if anyone doubts me, well, here it is, delivered to every house in the district. Here it is, the 10 million black hole. So important, he couldn't be bothered to even have a meeting about it. Yes, it does beg a belief. I do not intend to embellish this, that it was an act of malice by the opposition. No, I prefer to be more charitable. It is born of ignorance and indolence, as we've seen tonight on the flexible capital receipts. They haven't done their homework. The people of this town are hardly so stupid or gullible. It has all the credulity of one of Baldrick's cunning plans and was about as successful as the election results showed. The black hole has no doubt inspired the Chancellor, with her 22 billion black hole. A wonderful excuse to raise taxes and nullify growth and employment. It's been said to me several times by the opposition that they sometimes struggle in the comprehension of the financial matters. Well, they have several. I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to compound their embarrassment. The point is...
Can I ask the Chamber to listen in silence
Yes.
whilst Councillor Leopard completes his speech?
Yes, good manners. Yeah. Anyway, they've often said they struggle to understand financing. Well, in my experience, clarity sometimes comes when one struggles a little less and reflects a little more. And in such moments of reflection, you might understand why you sit on that side and we sit on this side, and you're destined to remain there for quite a long time while we get on with the job and deliver for this town. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Leopard. Councillor Swords, the right of reply.
Thank you, Chair. I would, as is not convention in this chamber, I'd be more than happy to give way if any member of the opposition could actually tell me how much money they're proposed to vote on this evening. In there, you have your answer. They genuinely have not read the paper. They don't know what they're voting on. They do not have a clue, as I've made reference to a few times this evening, how to run this council. There was a comment earlier about what would the LGA say about the council now. I know. I work with the LGA every day on the council. Indeed, I've just been made an LGA peer to go and support other councils with corporate peer challenges. I note, of course, that I doubt any of those sitting opposite have ever been afforded such courtesy of being asked. But back to the matter at hand, like I say, what does the report set out in detail? The report makes clear that performance is improving. The report makes clear that we're projecting a financial surplus across the board. We've done that whilst freezing council tax. I know that there has been questions in recent days from members of the opposition about how is this possible? How is it possible that you can freeze council tax, deliver these services, improve their performance, and project a budget surplus? Again, all the answers are set out within the report. These reports are reported on a monthly basis. It's very evident at Cabinet each month that the opposition do not read them. It's more evident, with the exception of some, I should add. But in large part, they do not read them. They don't know what they're being asked to vote upon this evening. They may well vote against it, I should imagine, because they wouldn't have a clue to do anything otherwise. But this report sets out what this administration is delivering in black and white, plain English for the residents of the town. So again, I'm very pleased to propose this to the council, and I look forward to their support otherwise.
Thank you, Councillor Swords. That completes the debate. I'll put the motion to, or the referral rather, to the vote. Those in favour? Oh, a few. Okay. Have you got that?
No.
Sorry, could you keep your hands up?
Thank you.
And those against? And abstentions?